we have been well accepted in Ashanti. If the relationship was not there, the Ashanti kingdom would not give land to the Ewes and allow you to call it Angoragan.
Obi firi anguna wo na ye wa anguna ba bia wo mote a na ye de ama no. Owura Fugah ye nim ne hasene anguna ba bia ofire no kura. Enne ya ka bom. Obi firi anguna wo na ye wa anguna ba bia wo mote a na ye de ama no.
Ashanti for any angro for Yenina ye nipa baako.
That's right.
Yenina ye Ghana for. And ne ye see any bie kesi aba na Ashanti ni ho na angro ni so ni ho.
That's right.
Yenina ye Ghana for.
That's right.
Enunti se eba aware a Uya Santini o, Uya Angwani o, baby a odo, the Uber corner.
That's right.
Na yes, woko.
The perception about Ewes is that we like voodoo, we like juju, and it's about using it to harm people. That is what comes to mind anytime they see an Ewe. The non-Ewes, their perception is that mu pedro, you like juju. How is this thing supposed to? How best can we correct this perception?
Do you see this hat we are putting?
Yes.
You know the name?
No, please.
You know how they call it?
No.
They call it Togbui.
Togbui, which means that.
Ube can be in front of.
If you say that again.
The Ube can be asun the in front of.
So the present day Asafo market, which was then called Kwame Nkrumah Market, was where our carpenters were.
Wow.
So Subin Valley, which was changed, which became Asafo Market, was where the carpenters were.
All right. Very good afternoon to you all, wherever you may be watching us from. It's all about Ashanti Fest, and this initiative has provided us with the opportunity to discover few things about Ashanti region. We all know Ashanti region is a cosmopolitan region, hosting almost all the tribes in across the country. One of such tribes, which is one of the dominant ones in Ashanti region, is the Ewe tribe. And today being a day set aside to celebrate culture in the region as part of the Ashanti Fest, we've caught up with the Council of Chiefs of the Ewe community in the Ashanti region, and we are going to engage them for them to tell us a bit of story about how the Volta region is fully represented in the Ashanti region, owing to the fact that there are about 2 regions separating the Volta region and the Ashanti region. However, you have a town, one of the major towns of Volta region, which is Angoragan, situated in the heart of Ashanti region. So we are going to engage our elders, our chiefs, for them to tell us a bit of a story about how this came about. And so without much ado, let me quickly extend the microphones to them. I would want you to introduce yourselves to us, I mean to the world, before we start. So Togbui, okay, Mareku, Leko Yonawe, what is your name? Just tell us about your name and then who you are.
Nyanko Rosubo. Kakele Fiasama. Anyenye Jikmito, Haru Fiator.
Okay, so how is that? Because we have a wide audience, including people watching who are not Ewes, I would want you guys to get us some bit of English so that those watching who are not Ewes can also understand. Thank you.
In the council, I am the kingmaker. The kingmaker.
The kingmaker.
Yeah, the kingmaker of the Council of the Ewe Chiefs in Ashanti. And I am called Gandhi Atiku Young Attipoe Jikpito.
Right. So we've heard from the Zipito, who is the kingmaker of the Ewe Council of Chiefs. So I'm going to the next. Oh, you have a microphone. Togbui.
Good evening. My name is Dela Adugu. I am a member of the Council of Ewe Chiefs, headed by Togbui Fugah in Kumasi.
Thank you very much, Togbui. And then I tell Togbui for the day.
Dumega Kudzo de Atahu nye Palesia Togbui Fugah Palesia ye mio le Ashanti Bono Bono kata jiruma ye administrator.
Okay. Thank you so much, Togbui. So, in a nutshell, the Council of Chiefs we have with us are not just those representing Ashanti region. They are representing our 3 regions: Ashanti region, Bono Ahafo region, and I'm sure even Bono East. So they are the embodiment of the Ewe community in Ghana beyond the voter region, I should say. So thank you so much. You are going to be our main storyteller for the day. Tell us, how did the voter region become so dominant to the extent that one of the major towns of voter region, which is Angroga, is found in the heart of the Ashanti region? Tell us, how did this come about?
Well, the history of the Ewes and the Ashanti Union is a very, very interesting one. It dates back hundreds of years ago. According to the folklore that we are told as Ewe children, even before coming to Kumasi, is that the Ewes and the Ashantis have a union. That union started from our military escapees even before the nation of Ghana was founded. The Ewes are a tribe of people who, according to folklore, migrated all the way from Israel. We journeyed through Sudan to Ethiopia and then to Ile-Ife in present-day Nigeria. From there, we came to Dahomey. Dahomey is one of the biggest kingdoms that we had in those days, and the Ewes were part of the Dahomey kingdom. From Dahomey, we came to settle in a place in present-day Togoland called Ngochie. In Ngochie, we had a very powerful person. As for the Ewes, they are known for mystical powers, magical and mystical powers that are displayed during wars. That is a very well-known fact about Ewes. So in Ngochie, there was a man who was very, very given in mystical powers. He was called Togbui Akromada. Togbui Akromada had twins. One of them was called Charlie, and the other one was called Chala. They had mystical powers. And you know, those days, there was a lot of fight for territory. And we know that the Akwamus, the Ewes, and the Ashantis had an alliance, which they displayed during the wars of conquest. And Chala was a very, very powerful person who had some relationship with the Akwamus. And you know that the Akwamus are related to the Ashantis. So because of the exploits of Chala in Akwamu, the Ashantis got to know about that guy who was doing all those exploits. So that Chala met with an Ashanti king and they became friends. And that Chala came to the Ashanti kingdom. And according to what we are told, that Chala is the one that we refer to as that Komfo who comes from Nwochie. So Komfo Nwochie is derived from the Komfo from Nwochie. Komfo our friend Nwochie Ebaye.
Wow.
Komfo Nwochie. So that relationship between the Ewes and the Ashantis dated far back to those guys.
Togbui, I want to understand something. We are speaking to not only the people within the Ashanti region, but across the globe, because social media is now a powerful tool. For you to say that the almighty Komfo Anokye that we've been hearing of, we've been the most iconic, I should say, traditional authority or mystic. The person that has performed the most mystics in Ashanti region is the Komfo Anokye. And what we know is that they say Komfo Anokye descended from Eastern region. So those are the things we know. But for this to be coming from you, who you are an authority when it comes to
I am not an authority, but what I'm saying is that we learn our history from our forebears through oral tradition.
Absolutely.
So that is what we know.
So for a fact,
Chala and Charlie, they have mystical powers.
That's right.
His twin brother also exhibited the same mystical powers in the present-day Volta region.
That's right.
If I should tell you what he was able to do, then what we are saying that Komfo from Anokye did is very small.
I see.
Yes.
Can you tell us?
But we even believe that man, he didn't die. They told us that when he grew old, he sat on a crocodile and the crocodile took him away. That is what we are told. We are told that the twin brother is the one who ended up in Ashanti region.
Wow.
I am not the first person to say this. Some of the Ashantis also know it.
For a fact?
Yes, they know it.
Interesting. We are getting a great tale when it comes to storytelling today with this kind of revelation you have just made.
I'm only trying to tell you that our relationship dates far back. You see, the relationship started because of military escapees.
That's right.
So that was the first alliance. It didn't end there. You see, so the Ewes, for that matter, the Anglos, they are in alliance with the Ashantis. As far as military,
First with the Akwamus.
Yes.
That's why people say Komfo Anokye is from Awokugwa. It's not correct. From our great grandfathers, Komfo Anokye came first to stay with the Akwamus.
Yes.
Before
In the Eastern region.
in the Eastern region, that's where they say he's from Eastern region.
Okay.
He is not from Eastern region. He was hired to Akwamu, and from there, the Ashantis already they were closely with the Akwamus. So they invited him to this place.
That is how come he came here. All right. So let's proceed, because if we don't take care, this revelation we may be discussing it and then we will not make progress.
Yes,
so let's continue.
Yeah, we are only establishing the fact that
That's right.
our relationship with the Ashantis didn't start today.
That's right.
It started
Long ago. So how eventually did we end up here as Angloga in the heart of Ashanti region? So how did it happen? So now that Togbui Chala, right?
Who is now called
the Komfo from now Anokye. the Konfo from Ngoche. That time there was no Volta region, right?
No, there was no Volta region. There was no Ghana.
There was no Ghana.
There was no Gold Coast.
There was no Gold Coast.
Yes.
Wow. So, but they heard the Akwamus heard about the Ngoche. So they were trying to describe the Konfo, because we know the Ashantis, they call the traditionalist Konfo. So Konfo, the Konfo that is coming from Ngoche, to it Konfo Anoche, Konfo from Ngoche. Okay, so how did we eventually end here? How the because now we have a large number of votarians here with Anglogan, which is one of the major cities in Volta region, in the heart of the Ashanti region. How did that come about?
You know, there was a trading route for salt. Salt was a commodity that you cannot find
here in the landlocked, in the hinterland. That's right.
So salt is a coastal product.
Oh.
So our people win salt. All the lagoons spanning the Volta region. When the lagoon dries, it precipitates into salt, and the Ewe people or the Anglos win a lot of salt. And salt is a commodity that is very much precious. So there was that trading route between the Ewes and the Ashantis. So that brought them to
trade with the okay. So it's a trading
alliance.
Wow.
Not only salt.
Okay.
But there is a slave market also.
Really?
In the Volta region around Anglogan. The place is called Attipoe.
Attipoe?
Yes. So slaves are also traded at Attipoe. So the slaves who are captured from here, they have to be taken to Attipoe, where they are traded. You know there is a fort also in Kita.
Yes.
Called Fort Presenstein.
That's right.
So those slaves who are captured are sent to the Fort Presenstein, and then from there they are probably taken to Cape Coast, and then they are shipped.
So talking about slave trade,
yes.
Is it the case that the slaves that they capture from this part of the country are taken through Volta region before they go to the Cape Coast?
Slaves are not only captured in this part of the country, even in the Volta region, they traded in slaves.
Great.
So we have names in the Volta region who were dealers in slaves.
So because you added the slave part of it to the story, I was asking whether there was any partnership between the Ewes and the Ashantis when it comes to the slave trade itself. Was there?
Well, we cannot say that for sure.
Okay.
All that we can say for sure is that there was a slave market at Attipoe.
That's right. So that's the one. The second, I should say, reason that has cemented the relationship between the Ewes and the Ashantis. Okay.
There is a very interesting story.
Okay.
Also.
All right.
About another man called Acrobatu.
Acrobatu. Okay.
Yes. So I will leave
what
the
about
story
him?
Of Acrobatu. He should tell the story of Acrobatu.
Okay. Togbui, honor us with the story if you can briefly remember it.
Out of the slave trade and the salt business. You know, the Ashantis, they only not bring slaves. They also trade, exchange salt with gold. So as they are coming, the Ashanti king sends salt, gold. He send it through the young women, those beautiful Ashanti women. And then when they bring it, the Anglo chief, Togbui, after collecting the salt, after collecting the gold, he also exchange it with salt. And then the women who came with the salt, some remain to marry
in the
Volta region. And at the same time, when those who are to take the salt also, they are Anglo women. So when they also come, they also remain and then get married to the Ashantis.
Some of the Ashanti
That was where the relationship
also was
was cemented.
Wow. This is interesting.
Yes.
So the case of Togbui Acrobetuno, how did that come about?
It came to a time because of this in the relationship. Asantehene requested that they should meet for a friendship.
Okay.
So he was surprised when those who came from Angra, he was surprised the man who came, called Akrobetu, was able to speak fluently in Twi.
Wow.
So he was surprised and immediately he asked that he should be made a king. So he gave him a stool and that's what our great grandfather celebrated to know. So he installed somebody from Angra there in Kumasi.
Here in Kumasi.
Yeah, here in Kumasi.
So
and we hear that stool is still there.
In the Ashanti, in the kingdom, Ashanti
Yes,
kingdom.
yes.
In Atminsia.
Atminsia.
So the Ewes.
So that relationship started from that time. That is why the Kwamus, the Angras, for that matter, Ewes, and the Ashantis, they have never fought before.
They don't fight.
Whoa.
They never fought any war before.
Of all the ethnic war,
Yes.
there was never a fight between the Ewes, the Ashantis, and the Akwemus because of their trade partnership and their long-standing relationships.
Military alliance, and then the salt business, all those things made them to be very, very close, and they had never fought before. That is what our great father
to add to what he
Solid.
said,
Wow.
to add to what he said, when that emissary from Anglo came to the Asantehene, we know that the Asantehene presented him with a sword. That sword is called
Kaklaku,
and
the sword.
That sword
Yes.
is there today
In Minsia.
in Anglo.
In Anglo.
Yes. That was from the Ashanti who was reigning at that time. So you see, because of that relationship, the Anglos and the Ewes, it is just, excuse me to say, politics, present-day politics that is dividing us.
Wow.
But as far as our relationship is concerned, there is no doubt.
There's no. Wow. I think this is an eye-opening revelation from you this afternoon. So it is the Anglogan became.
So we are coming to the Anglogan.
We are coming to the Anglogan now. Oh, okay. So I wanted to find out. So let's go to them.
Yeah,
let's then go to
the
them.
Anglogan story.
Yes, but one thing must be established. The Otumfuo of the time eventually installed a chief
Yes.
for the Angolans because of that Akrobetu who came from Volta region and spoke Twi. As a result of the intermarriage that happened during the trade.
It looks
Is that not it?
Yes.
Right. So the sword they presented
The
sword they presented to Togbui Acrobetu. So it was 3 that they presented the sword to.
It was sent back to
Togbui 3. So that one is in the Volta region now.
Kaklaku is at Anglogan.
Kaklaku. Okay.
It is in our storehouse.
That's right. Thank you so much. So let's now move to the Anglogan story.
Yes, the Anglogan story. You know, the Ewes, they are very, very skilled artisans.
Okay.
Very, very skilled.
That is true.
They are very, very skilled in what we call wattle and daub kind of architecture.
That's right.
That is the mud houses that he built
Those days.
Very, very skilled. That is why we call it Attipoe houses. It's
Yes.
called Attipoe.
Attipoe.
Where is Attipoe? Attipoe is in present-day Togo.
Yes. Yes, Attipoe. Yes.
So the other people were here to help the Ashantis to build houses.
Wow.
We are very much versed in construction, building. Those things. At the same time, they are very skilled carpenters.
It's true.
woodworkers.
It's true. My father was a carpenter, as a matter of
They are
fact.
also very skilled on the seas and on the rivers.
That's right.
So all those things are things that made the Ewe people, and for that matter, Anglo, very marketable. So they came to Kumasi because Kumasi is like a trade route.
That's right.
Even between the south and the north of Ghana.
Oh. Yeah, the epicenter, the trade center.
Yes.
Because of its geographical location. Right.
Because we are coming from the southeastern part of Ghana along the Atlantic Ocean. And then the Ashantis were in the middle of the country.
The middle belt.
And we had that alliance already. So our people came to Kumasi as builders, carpenters, woodworkers. And our women also
were bringing fish,
smoked fish,
dried fish, a lot, gari, tapioca, a whole lot of things.
So in effect, all these things we are seeing today are things that predate like far back. Because I can tell you for a fact that still, when it comes to skilled labor, the carpentry works, the masonry, the all other form of artisanal works, the Ewes still dominate across the country, and that is a known fact. So these are things that we inherited from our great grandfathers, and I think we are still very, very good at that. That's good.
Yeah, so
what else can we know?
Our early settlers, the Ewes and the Anglos, the early settlers, when they came to Kumasi, they settled at Ashtown, the Subin Valley, Asafo, Asim, Fanti Newtown, and Amakum.
Wow.
That is where they settled. Because originally Kumasi was around those towns and vicinities. So the Ewes came and joined them there. So the artisans were working at Subin Valley. Subin Valley.
And then moved to where we now have Asafo Market.
Yes.
Oh, okay. The present day Asafo Market.
Yes, they were at Subin Valley. That is where they were practicing their trade.
So the Subin Valley currently, which side is that?
No, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So Subin Valley
Yes.
was where they were practicing their trade as artisans. So they wanted to set up a market. Kwame Nkrumah wanted to set up a market, which was going to be named Kwame Nkrumah Market, isn't it? So the artisans had to give way to the market to be established. So the present day Asafo Market, which was then called Kwame Nkrumah Market, was where our carpenters were.
Wow.
So Subin Valley, which was changed, which became Asafo Market, was where the carpenters were. So when they had to move to another location, the leader of the carpenters and the artisans, called Togbui Fugah, organized the elders, and then with the help of an elder also, who was one of the original settlers called Wezade, that Togbui Wezade. The two of them went to see the Amakum Hini to discuss the issue.
Nana
Akosa. And so Nana Akosa, with the blessing of the Ashanti Hini, decided to give them land at where today we are calling Anglo-Ghana. But the land which was given to them at that time, because it was far removed from the other vicinities in Kumasi, was called Lomnava. If you love me, come.
That's right, Lomnava. If you love, because of how distance they are from the main township. If you love me, then you come.
Okay. So Because the place was largely inhabited by the Anglos, they decided then to call it
Angroga.
So that is how come it is called Angroga.
Interesting.
We have another history also. The history says that the Togbui also, because of Angroga, Togbui also gave land to the Ashanti women.
In Volta region?
In Angroga,
Yeah.
that place is supposed to be called Kumasi.
Wow.
Yes. It's still there.
It's still there?
Yes, they say
Yes, we have Kumasi somewhere. Is that around the Hohwe area?
No.
Angroga proper.
Kumasi,
There's Kumasi in Angroga.
In Angroga.
I mean,
so that is the story of
and there is one very serious revelation you made as well concerning the Kwame Nkrumah market, which is now the modern day at the modern days Asafo market, used to be known as Kwame Nkrumah market. And when the Ewes who were settling there had to be moved, they were moved to the present day Angroga, which originally used to be known as Lomnava.
When they went there,
the first. But because the Ewes there were majority were dominated. They were dominated by the Anglos, so they named it Angroga. Interesting. So Togbui Fugah and Kofi Fugah and Togbui
of blessed memory.
Of blessed memory.
And
is that
of blessed memory?
Okay. So is that to say that the current president of Council of Chiefs, Ewe Chiefs, Togbui Fugah, that is his father?
Yes.
That is his father.
Wow.
Togbui Kofi Fugah died. Togbui Fugah, who is now the chief of the Ewes in Ashanti and Bono and Ahafo, was to replace his father as the head of the carpenters at Angroga. It was at that same time that they caught him and then made him a chief of Angroga. So that is this.
Interesting. The revelations keep coming. What else do we have in the back?
So that is the story.
Right.
Of,
how Angroga came about.
Largely predominated by carpenters and
artisans.
Yes.
Wow.
So
tell us, of course, these days we grew up with learning some form of animosity between the Ewes and the Ashantis. But the storyline, as narrated, doesn't seem to have any iota of rivalry between the people of the Ewes and the Ashantis. But how did it come about? How did it happen that in a way the Ewes and the Ashantis don't seem to see eye to eye when it comes to politics? Is it the politics? How did it happen?
Inside the Otunfo's palace, we are represented there. We have a seat. We serve Otunfo as the Jasis.
What does the Jasis mean?
Jasis, they guide. They are the main protectors of the king. So we serve at the Jasis place. That's where we serve the Angwas. That's where Togbui Fugah they serve. We go there to serve because we are yes, we are highly represented. Chief wise, there is no difference. It's only politics. Within Otunfo doesn't play with. You don't play with the Angwas.
Oh, so
on my part, I think that is only perception.
Perception is just perception driven.
It is a perception. Because if there is that kind of rivalry, intermarriages do not necessarily happen where there is animosity.
Because if there were to be fights, we can't intermarry.
Yes, so there is a lot of.
So that alone defeats the idea of
of
rivalry and all that.
No, the rivalry is to be expected because in politics, even brothers fight.
That's right. So, wow.
We the Ewes, we only see it as perception. It is nothing that we take serious.
Wow.
But we need to talk about it because that perception is probably gaining some roots, and that root should be cut off.
It should be uprooted and thrown away.
Thrown away because that is not what it is.
Wow.
It is perception.
Togbui, that's a very good clarification you've made. So let me go to Togbui to see what he also has to tell us, because today is History Day and we are trying to get the nuggets from the real authorities within the region as far as the Ewes are concerned. So Togbui, you are the administrator of the Council of Chiefs, the Council of Ewe Chiefs in the region, not only Kumasi but also the Bono, the Ahafo, and the rest. So they just said that Ewes have a seat at Meshia. You as an administrator, are you invited there regularly to perform any form of rituals? How do you go about it?
Oh yes, we Ewes used to attend Toba, anything at all, for doing call our attention. We go there, especially Koside and Akude. We used to go there. Through that, Otufo to visit our big chief at Angola.
The Voter region. An historic visit. I remember vividly.
Yes. So, Otufo, he took us, or he take us as his children, and we too take him as our father. So we are all one. He has already told you from people.
Thank you so much. So, what advice for me? Okay, but I want to find out what are that things, because you keep giving us more revelations. What are that things we need to know?
What you need to know is the Angloga that we knew was also a wood market.
Okay.
Wood market. And the wood market was situated according to the town planning drawings. It was situated on part of the road leading from Asokwa to Angloga Junction. The one that we now call Wood Village.
The Wood Village.
So
it's now a Sokoban, right?
So we are coming there.
Okay.
So the carpenters and the wood dealers who were situated there, plying their trade, had to be moved. So Togbui Fugah and Mr. Young, Honorable Young Attipoe, they formed a resettlement committee. So with the advice of some chiefs and elders of the community, and then they were tasked to look for land. So first of all, they went to Asokore Mampong in search of land to relocate the carpenters. From Asokore Mampong, they also went to Buankra in search of land. And then to Sokoban. So with the blessings of the Kasihini, he allocated the land. And with the blessings of the Almighty Ashanti Hini, a large tract of land was allocated to the Carpenters Association to build a place for the carpenters, for Angola carpenters. So that is what we now call the Wood Village. It was with the instrumentality of the Anglos who were plying the trade at Angola that we now have the Wood Village at
Sokoban.
Yes.
Wow. There is something interesting I've heard, which is that when Otun for any Ashanti king dies, the Togbui either comes himself or sends a delegation to perform a rituals. How true is that?
It is very true. When Togbui Dela died, that's our chief. Nana Otun for Ashanti sent a high-powered delegation with gold dust to go and perform the love and the relationship between him and the Anglos. And at the same time, another time, Togbui, when this man Rollins Agbotui died, the current Otunfo now, because of the relationship they have with the Anglos, or for that matter the Ewes, he also through Togbui Fugah sent delegation, high-power delegation, to go and then perform the funeral, and then he also sent gold dust to be used to dress. So that
gold dust,
yes, that relationship has been there a long time, from Okumfonoche's time.
Wow. So how did so having learned about how Confanoche, that's not a story to even repeat, because we knew how he commanded the golden stool from heavens because of the special mystic powers that he had. But so how did Confanoche himself die? Since you mentioned earlier, Togbui, you mentioned that there is a belief, a long-held belief, that Togbui Charlie, who is the twin brother of Togbui Chala, didn't die a natural death. That for you, when he grew old, he just joined, he mounted the back of a crocodile and then entered the sea. Was it a sea or a river?
It was a river.
A river. Which river? Is that a Volta region?
The sea, and they say the sea.
A sea. For the sea. Good. So, how did
his brother die?
How did his brother die? Confanoche.
That one is a story for another day.
That one is a story for
another day.
But we heard he vamoosed, something like that.
He also vanished.
Yes.
So Confanoche too vanished. So nobody has his traces. The Ashantis can best tell how our brothers.
They will know best. They will know how exactly Confanoche, how he died.
Wow, that's powerful. So Togbui, what advice, having established all this, it's clear that there is no iota of a misunderstanding, animosity between the Ewes and the Ashantis. The Ewes are peace-loving people, likewise the Ashantis, or likewise the Akans. So what advice do you have for the modern, the young Ewes, the young Aibis, or the Ewes? What advice do you have for them, so that this long-held view that the Ewes and the Ashantis are enemies, we can wipe that belief out? What would be your advice?
My brother, do you see this hat we are putting?
Yes.
You know the name?
No, please.
You know how they call it?
No.
They call it Togbanya.
Togbanya, which means that
Ube can be in Fano.
If you say that again.
The Ube Cabiano, as soon the Enfano, Enfano, the Ube can Bonibia Ube Cabia, the Enim, Ube Cabiano, Enfano. That is why we call it Togbanya.
So this hat, the name of the hat is Togbanya.
Within our traditionalists, the traditionalists, our kings and our great grandfathers know that we are allies. The Ashantis, Kwamus, and then the Ashantis. At the palace, we know we are this one people. So it's only politicians who are just trying to divide us. That is why I said when you come into a two-force palace and Togbui S3, the current S3 comes there, it's not a small thing.
Wow.
Just like brothers and sisters. So that has been there for a long time and it's still there. So what the politicians are doing, we are saying a Togbanya. It's not,
You don't care.
We don't care.
Thank you so much.
I think that, you see, the way we tell our stories should be corrected, because the stories that we tell will reinforce the belief of the people.
That's right.
So if we tell the real stories, if we tell the stories as they are,
That's right.
then it will change the mentality of the people.
That's right.
So I believe that we should tell our stories. We should write about our history, the real history.
Yes.
Because all that we are saying here, they are shrouded in some kind of
Mystery.
disbelief.
Mystery,
That
because it's not written
it is make-believe story. These are the facts that were related through folklore till today.
That's right.
That the Ashantis and the Ewes, until we started doing the kind of politics that we are doing today,
We're one people.
we're one people. That is what we are told. So if you are a young Ewe person and you even want to marry an Ashanti woman, you are encouraged to do so.
That's right.
Because,
I love that. I'm sure our viewers,
Yes.
who are our viewers, both the males and the females,
Yes.
will be interested in this advice.
Yes, you are encouraged to do so.
Yes.
But see, because of the stories that we are not telling, as if the Ewe people, I think the narrative about the Ewe people should be corrected.
Absolutely.
It's not true.
Absolutely.
It is not true. Number one, the mystical powers of the Ewes were used to a certain advantage.
That's Toby. That's one interesting thing I want to
Yes.
draw your attention to.
Yeah.
The perception about Ewes is that we like voodoo, we like juju, and it's about using it to harm people. That is what comes to mind anytime they see an Ewe. The non-Ewes, their perception is that mu pedro, you like juju. How is this thing supposed to? How best can we correct this perception?
You see, Ewes do not like juju.
Okay.
They don't.
Are you sure?
Yes, they don't like juju.
Okay.
They don't like juju.
Wow.
As far where I am coming from, juju kills bad people.
That's an interesting
Yes, it does.
the twist of it.
It does. It does.
So we use it
does.
to do good,
Yeah,
to clean up
Yes.
the system.
Yes, because
of
when
to-
you go to any shrine, you cannot do what is wrong.
That's right, and get away with
You
it.
cannot do what is wrong and get away with it. And I think also that is the Christian principle. But they only say that God
would
give you the chance
to rectify
your
amend your attitude.
your attitude. Yes, the Ewes are not. They don't use mystical powers
to harm people. Wow.
Even though they have it.
So please, viewers, the long-held view that Ewes like juju or Ewes like to charm people is wrong. That is not the case. Togbui has just made us to understand that even the shrines are sensible. So it is not as if you just cook a story and go to a shrine, then the shrine will take action or strike the people. No, the shrines, and this I'm sure should be another episode that we will tackle, especially focusing on how the shrines work in the Volta region, because I know Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in his days, even before the independence, went to one of the shrines in the Volta region to sort of give a pledge before the independence. If he's able to succeed in gaining independence for the country, he would come and perform some rituals, which we were told he went to do. So these are some of the good things that the shrines that the people call voodoo or people term as bad things, some of the benefits that the country as a whole benefited from are the ones that one of them is the one I just mentioned, which is the case of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And Togbui also mentioned that the shrines are used to purify the system, to rid the bad people from the system. I know in Volta region, some parts, people do not. You can't just go and steal and go scot-free. So it was even preventing thieves from invading people's houses in those days in Volta region. I don't know how it is now because I'm no longer in the Volta region. We are far away from our hometown. We don't know how things are now. But we were told those days, because of how fearful some of the deities were, making sure that they adjudicate cases, it made people not to even dare commit a certain kind of crimes. So Togbui, your final words so that we can wrap up. I know you've been here to commemorate the day with the regional minister and the two enforced representatives. What are your final words so that we can draw the curtains, and then some other time we can have time to delve deeper into the stories, starting from Togbui Attipoe.
Impression ma la mo si ba futonwe wa kwakula Ashanti unya malama na ma alaba ucho politics jibe yo kokodemi ka kono nya blemita nya mana wonya nwi ba fo no fi o nya ni nyijo no ba mo nyijo a ajo nyinyia ofu ko na oni nya nu fo alaba junyinya mat nu malini nya kwa mara me nyijo ko anu malini forever and ever da Ashantiao bakula ahwao bejito anlon fa de kawo wa ma ajonyi ma oto emi nyijo ajuma onya tegbe onya ma so gbaraka gbo amu gbagba jega de si ada awo de si ada ha ma tenchi ajeji o de kawo wa ma alemiasi politicians were like Badamula. Bogomela, Mashia Manyamawu, Tojifo, Tanyamiba, Yiniju, Amadakawa Minya.
Akpe, Medakpe, Togbui Attipoe. Yes, Togbui.
Okay.
Your final words.
I want, first of all, to thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to talk about who we are,
that's right,
where we came from, and why we are here. I would want to end by saying that the Ewes, and for that matter the Anglos, are very, very law-abiding people. They are very hardworking. They contribute to the welfare and the economic progress of wherever they find themselves in. and they do not engage themselves in any untoward activities. That is the reason why those of us who find ourselves in the Ashanti and the Bron regions, we have brought ourselves together under one umbrella. And under that umbrella, we make sure that we direct everybody in this region and wherever they find themselves to be law-abiding first and foremost.
That's right.
That we should not allow politics to divide our ranks, because we have been well accepted in Ashanti. If the relationship was not there, the Ashanti kingdom would not give land to the Ewes and allow you to call it Anglogan. And Asante Hini, Nana Osetu, even talks about the Ewes, our contribution that has led the Asante kingdom to give land to the Anglos, which is called Anglogan.
That's right.
That cements the relationship between our two ethnic groups. So we are here as law-abiding citizens who find ourselves here.
That's right. Thank you so much, Togbui. And our administrator, the Council of Chiefs administrator, what are your final words as we are about drawing the curtains on today's episode?
Oh, my brother, the cow and me do my choker, me Togbui over fee chanqua. Deji comele. A quad just be egg you me va fee ha. The cow the meladuma. My Kaibe regional minister. I you me bede. Me va. Taka me va. A quabba me fear ha ocho Kofaro me. Get far away from Kumasi Afi. Nikata mi va pass renti. Yeah, Attipoe, oh how long me, Ashanti oh long me pa, mi no. Mi amaro fe mi zo te faro ina ba simagogina, no simanyola ro no pa angla fanti angla Ashanti for no na ba o. Oh. Mi amaro na ba kaba to mi amaro kra. Mi de nyonu cho Ashanti afia mi vieux la fille eta mi vieux ya o ejijo pomo le ho bo yo ro tonu agaru nonu.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
That when alle Togbui because aniba landlord khomia o tun fo khomia o de jijoji komiomi le sia yi nde sia re here o di ko mi le yo mo mi support ya na support mi aga do mi lango mi de vieux mi vieux le fie fifie no gbogbo no adre o no.
So the final words from Togbui to sum it up is that they are encouraging intermarriage between the Ewes and Ashantis. But I would want you to say this in Twi, since we are in the Ashanti region, so that the Ashantis can also understand, would also understand that particular call you are placing on them. I think that would do us some good. Anyone to try it, to try the Twi, so that our beautiful young Ashantis and handsome Ashantis, and I know they are interested in our ladies. You know, our ladies mostly are very beautiful too, so they like them. So tell them, the guys, that there is nothing to worry about. Our women are open, are there, that you are granting the clearance that they can come for them. Something simple in Twi for them. Yes, you have.
Asante for any Anglo for Yenina ye nipa baako.
That's right.
Yenina ye Ghana for. And ne yɛsi enibie kɛseɛ aba na asanteni ni hɔ ɛna anwurani nso ni hɔ.
That's right.
Yɛn nyinaa yɛyɛ Ghanafoɔ.
That's right.
Ɛnu nti sɛ ɛba aware a woyɛ asanteni o woyɛ anwurani o baabi a ɔdɔ de wobɛkɔ no.
That's right.
Ɛhɔ na yɛ sɛ wokɔ.
That's right.
Ɔdɔ deɛ onim asanteni ɛna onim anwurani nti ɔdɔ deɛ ɔdɔ kɔ baabi a ɔdɔ
wɔ.
Nti ɛkwan da hɔ sɛ anwurani bɛware asanteni ba ɛna asanteni ba so bɛware anwurani bɛrima.
That's right.
Yɛma sɛ anwurani ware asanteni anaa anwurani ba ware asanteni bɛrima nkɔla a ɛbaa mu no wɔn yɛ sonko. Wɔn wɔ akukuduro.
That's right.
Na wɔn wɔ ahɔnfɛ.
That's right.
Deɛ anyame de kyɛ asantefoɔ ne anwurɔfoɔ nyinaa woka mmienu nyinaa bom a.
Solid combination.
Thank
Thank you so much, Togbui. Thank you so much, Togbui. Viewers, thank you so much for sticking and staying with us throughout the session. It's been an eye-opener, and so many revelations were made. I'm sure we'll take the cases one after the other and broadcast it so that we can get the statement, because they made so many revelations that we couldn't even have time to delve deeper into. I'm sure our next episode would make time to delve deeper into some of the statements they made. We are blessed to have them. This is how the stories were kept, and we are today beneficiaries of it. We are also transcending the generations to come with the same story we've been told. Thank you so much, Togbui, for making time for us. God bless you. Thank you.